The 24th of June 2026, Hollywood lost one of its last surviving Golden Age legends. Ann Blyth, the Oscar-nominated actress who played Joan Crawford's scheming daughter in the 1945 classic Mildred Pierce, has died at the age of 98. Just 2 months shy of her 99th birthday, Blyth passed away peacefully of natural causes at her home in Rancho Santa Fe, California, surrounded by her family. She was one of the last surviving stars from the Golden Age of Hollywood, a versatile actress who could break your heart as a villain, charm you in a musical, and sing alongside Mario Lanza and Howard Keel. But here's what makes her story so remarkable. She was just 16 years old when she landed the role that would define her career, and she did it while going toe-to-toe with one of the most feared actresses in Hollywood. In the next 10 minutes, I'll tell you her full story, her rise from child radio star at age 5, her Oscar-nominated performance in Mildred Pierce, the devastating toboggan accident that broke her back and nearly ended her career, her 4-year marriage to Dr. James McNulty, her 5 children, her songs, and her net worth. This is the story of Ann Blyth, the last star of Hollywood's Golden Age. Let me address the question at the top. What killed Ann Blyth? Ann Blyth died on Wednesday, the 24th of June 2026, at her home in Rancho Santa Fe, California. She was 98 years old, just 2 months shy of her 99th birthday on August 16. The cause of death was natural causes. Her daughter, Eileen McNulty, confirmed that Blyth passed away peacefully, surrounded by her family. KABC's George Pennacchio wrote, "Actress Ann Blyth died peacefully of natural causes on Wednesday at the age of 98, less than 2 months before her 99th birthday. At the time of her death, Blyth was one of the last surviving stars from Hollywood's Golden Age. Her passing marks the end of an era, a final curtain for a generation of actors who defined American cinema." Ann Blyth was born Anne Marie Blyth on the 16th of August 1928 in Mount Kisco, New York. She came from Irish stock. Her father, Harry Rowland Blyth, left the family when she was young. Her mother, Anna Nan Lynch, raised Anne and her older sister Dorothy in a walk-up apartment on East 31st Street in New York City, taking in ironing to make ends meet. But Anne had a gift, and she discovered it early. At just 5 years old, she began performing on children's radio shows. By age 9, she had joined the New York Children's Opera Company. She attended Manhattan's Professional Children's School, a place for young performers to hone their craft. And then, at just 13 years old, she made her Broadway debut in Lillian Hellman's Watch on the Rhine. She played the daughter of Paul Lucas's character. The play ran for 378 performances and won the New York Drama Critics Circle Award. While touring with the play in Los Angeles, a Universal Studios director noticed her. She was offered a screen test, and at 16, she signed a contract with Universal. That decision would change everything. In 1945, Universal loaned Ann Blyth to Warner Brothers for a film that would define her career, Mildred Pierce. She was just 16 years old when she was cast as Veda Pierce, the scheming, manipulative, ungrateful daughter of Joan Crawford's title character. Here's what makes this casting so incredible. Blyth was completely unknown. Joan Crawford personally supported her casting, appearing with the then 6-year-old in her screen test. And when the cameras rolled, something magical happened. Blyth didn't just hold her own against Crawford, she nearly stole the film. Critics raved, audiences were horrified, and she earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress at just 17 years old. Joan Crawford won the Best Actress Oscar that year, her only Academy Award. Mildred Pierce was also nominated for Best Picture. But here's the heartbreaking part. Just 5 days after completing Mildred Pierce, tragedy struck. 5 days after finishing Mildred Pierce, Ann Blyth was enjoying a brief vacation near Lake Arrowhead, California. She was tobogganing down a hard-packed icy hillside when disaster struck. She later described the moment in a 1954 article. "One minute we were sailing down the hard-packed icy hillside like snowbirds, then there was a crash, and I fell on my back with a sickening thud. I didn't cry out. The feeling was too big for that." She had broken her back. The 5'2" actress spent 7 months in a body cast, followed by several months in a wheelchair. But here's what makes her story so inspiring. Despite her condition, she attended the 1,946 Academy Awards, wearing a specially designed gown constructed to fit over her back brace. She was just 17, in a back brace, and she showed up to her own Oscar nomination. The injury slowed her momentum at exactly the wrong moment, but she didn't give up. She recovered, she returned, and she rebuilt her career. After her recovery, Ann Blyth returned to the screen in a wide range of roles. She appeared in the prison drama Brute Force, 1947, with Burt Lancaster, the comedy Mr. Peabody and the Mermaid, 1948, with William Powell, and the western Red Canyon, 1949. Her soprano voice made her a natural fit for musicals. In 1951, she was borrowed by MGM for The Great Caruso opposite Mario Lanza, a massive box office hit. She starred in Rose-Marie, 1954, with Howard Keel, The Student Prince, 1954, and Kismet, 1955. She also appeared in dramatic films, Thunder on the Hill, 1951, with Claudette Colbert, The World in His Arms, 1952, with Gregory Peck, and 1 Minute to Zero, 1952, with Robert Mitchum. Her final film role was the title role in The Helen Morgan Story in 1957. In total, she appeared in more than 30 films between 1944 and 1957. After stepping away from cinema, she made occasional television appearances, including in The Twilight Zone and Murder, She Wrote. Her final screen role came in an episode of Murder, She Wrote in 1985. Now let me talk about the most important part of Ann Blyth's life, her family. In 1953, Ann married Dr. James McNulty, an obstetrician. There's a beautiful detail here. James was the brother of singer Dennis Day, who was a regular on Jack Benny's radio show. Dennis Day introduced them. Their wedding was a Hollywood affair. The bridesmaids included actresses Joan Leslie, Jane Withers, and Betty Lynn. The couple received a special commendation from Pope Pius XII. After her marriage, Ann made a conscious decision. She stepped away from her film career to focus on raising their 5 children. Their children are Timothy, Maureen, Kathleen. She also had 10 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. James McNulty died in 2007 at the age of 79. Ann never remarried. She remained faithful to the man she loved for 54 years until her own passing in 2026. Beyond her acting, Ann Blyth was a gifted singer. Her soprano voice made her a natural for musicals throughout the 1950s. She introduced classic standards in films like The Great Caruso and performed in concert tours for many years. She also performed in musical theatre productions, including The King and I, The Sound of Music, and Show Boat. Awards and honors. Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, Mildred Pierce, 1945. Hollywood Walk of Fame star, at 6733 Hollywood Boulevard. One of the last surviving stars of Hollywood's golden age, she made her final television appearances in the 1980s, including an episode of Murder, She Wrote in 1985. Then, she retired to focus on her family, her grandchildren, and her faith. So how much was Ann Blyth worth? Ann Blyth's exact net worth was never publicly disclosed. But let me give you the context. She appeared in more than 30 films between 1944 and 1957. She worked across dramas, musicals, and comedies. She was a lead actress at Universal and MGM during the height of the studio system. Her biggest paydays likely came from Mildred Pierce, The Great Caruso, and The World in His Arms. After stepping away from film, she performed in musical theatre and concert tours. She also made television appearances, including The Twilight Zone and Murder, She Wrote. She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, an honor bestowed in 1960. Her filmography and legacy ensure her royalty income continues through streaming, home video, and television syndication. Industry observers estimate her net worth was likely in the $1 million to $5 million range, a comfortable life built on decades of artistic work. But Ann Blyth's true wealth wasn't measured in dollars. It was measured in her family, her legacy, and her place in Hollywood history. Ann Blyth died on the 24th of June 2026. She was 98 years old. She died of natural causes, peacefully at home in Rancho Santa Fe, California, surrounded by her family. Her passing marks the end of an era. She was one of the last surviving stars from the golden age of Hollywood. She was a child of radio who became an Oscar nominee at 17, a singer who could break your heart, an actress who could play the villain and the heroine with equal skill. She survived a broken back and rebuilt her career. She stepped away from fame to raise her children. She married the love of her life and stayed with him until death parted them. Her daughter, Eileen McNulty, was at her side. Her 5 children, 10 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren carry her legacy forward. She was just 16 when she landed the role of Mildred Pierce. The critics said she nearly stole the film from Joan Crawford. She spent the rest of her 98 years proving that was not a fluke. If this tribute touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share your favorite Ann Blyth film in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.